Hi, good evening everyone. Welcome to Business Live. My name is Daryl Kwao. Coming up tonight, glitches at the Tema port as Unipass implementation kickstarts. We'll have the latest. Also coming up, Ministry of Finance launches a new digital payment roadmap as part of government's plan to digitize the economy. Also, President eases restrictions allowing restaurants to operate seated services. We speak to the Ghana Tourism Federation on this amid stringent protocols. Details right here on Business Live after this break. Stay with us. Let's get down to tonight's business. Tonight, some freight forwarders and clearing agents at the Tema port are calling on government to extend the transition period from GCNet on West Blue Port Management System to the newly integrated Customs Management System to 3 months for enough training sessions. They explain even though they have gone through preparatory stages for some months, there are still challenges that could impede the transition period. The new system was supposed to go live today at the Tema port but was hit with a snag. Here's one of the angry freight forwarders speaking with JoyNews.
Meanwhile, when you go to the grounds, it is not working. People are sitting in their offices. Just don't know what they are doing. You understand? So whatever he came to tell us or whatever he's saying, it's just a mere rhetoric. You understand? I am Nanato Fianet Kokoto. I am with the Maritime and Dock Workers Union. And we are very, very much interested in what is going on. Yes. Thank you.
That was the situation at the port earlier today. Commissioner of Customs, Colonel Kojo Damwa, entreated importers, exporters, and the freight forwarders to exercise patience since the process is new.
You won't hear me, so you keep quiet and let me talk. I wanted you to see me face to face, then I'll talk to you, okay? Now, you are important stakeholders in this whole business about clearing goods. We have come here to appreciate you. We know the good job we've been doing. We have given information in the past few weeks and to some extent months about the changes that were about to take place. Now, today marks a different milestone in your operations. We are aware if you start any new thing, you are likely to have one or two challenges. So we concede that some of you genuinely have some concerns. That is why we have moved all the way from Accra to you to listen to you and then find solutions to your problems. We anticipated this, and therefore we had help desks where some of our experienced officers are already positioned to listen to you, know the types of problems that you have, and then each and every one of you, the appropriate solutions will be found for you. So what we ask of you now is to remain calm, put your concerns together. There are some of you who are here because you have issues of shipping lines, some delivery order, whatever. So all those type of challenges, we'll put them together and then we'll let you see our officers who will be able to help you out. So depending on the nature of the problem that you have, there will be somebody there, a dedicated officer, who have the patience and skills to listen to you and offer the appropriate solution to your challenge. So what we need of you is to remain calm. Let us know the nature and type of challenge that you have, and then we'll channel you to the right persons to help you out. We are not happy that you are here and are unable to perform your duties. It is in my interest and yours to make sure that things work so that you will work and the flow will continue. So please, just have confidence in us. Know that it is for your sake and your interest that we are here. We are not to create programs for you. We are not to make things difficult for you. We are to make things quite easy and understandable for you. So we will just do that, get your leadership to let us know the types of the problems that you have, and then you will go to the appropriate depth and they will address your concern.
the confusion at the port today. To learn more about the challenges, I'm joined on the phone by a clearing agent at the Tema Port, William Aboagye-Wiafe. Thanks for joining us on Business Live, William. So what was your experience today at the port?
Well, it was very terrible at the port today. A GCNet, which is a system management body at the port, was ordered to shut down for a Unipass system to take over. But their system did not function effectively, which led to clearing agents and importers unable to pass their declaration and subsequently clear their respective goods. Now, containers are going to run into demurrage, and that will be huge cost that will be borne by the importers. So it was a very terrible day for importers and freight forwarders today.
Okay, and so what do you think needs to be done? Is it the case that we should, relax the implementation of Unipass and ensure that the right things are done before going forward? Do you think it is rushed?
Well, a month or two ago, I think the same order was made for the shutdown of GCNet so that Unipass could take over. And it led to the same problem that we experience today, where 3 good days, freight forwarders could not pass entries. So we thought that Unipass, the better or the best thing they could have done was to go back to the drawing board and then correct their anomalies. So when an announcement was made last week for GCNet to shut down today, we thought that things are going to be better, only to realize that today it is rather worse than what we experienced a month or two ago. So I think that the opportunity should be given to GCNet so that Unipass will fully abreast with the port system before there is any takeover.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. That was William Aboagye-Wiafe. He's a clearing agent at the Tema Port, telling us about the experience with the newly integrated customs management system. Let's see if we can get some answers. I'm joined by the Public Relations Manager for Ghana Link Network Services. They are technical partners to the Ghana Revenue Authority's Customs Division, essentially implementing this new port management system. Norvan, it's great to have you on Business Live tonight. So how do you explain the challenges faced today at the Tema Port?
Okay, Darrell, if you can hear me, I think that I listened to William and he talked about a terrible experience and also the fact that he describes his experience today as worse than what happened on the 28th. I must first of all apologize to him and say that if indeed that was the kind of experience he had here today at the port, then we are very sorry for that. But prior to, let me just explain a few things to you.
If you wanted, it's not just William, quite a number of freight forwarders are having issues, clearing agents, yeah.
Yes. And that's what I want to explain to you, what really happened and the process flow and the flow chart that was, issued to freight forwarders prior to today's implementation of the ICOMs. Darrell, I think last week, Tuesday, we had the trade minister with the Commissioner General, just as Aboagye did indicate, telling them some processes that needed to take place. And what was these processes that needed to take place? One, what they told them was that if you were going to go through the process of trying to clear your goods from the port, and you were very sure that you could do that before the 1st of June, go ahead and use the GCMS, which is the Ghana Customs Management System, which was the old system that was being managed by the 2 vendors that were around. Now, when they were told that, they were told that if you think that you could not complete the processes before the 1st of June, what you have to do was to come and use the new system, which is the ICOMs, which was ready at the time, because we had done simulation exercises. It had been very successful, and I can tell you that even at the Kotoka International Airport, the ICOMs has been able to see.
When you say it's been very successful, it's quite difficult. I mean, judging from the feedback we are getting from the ground, it appears Unipass is in its own reality.
Well, there are two forms of things that are happening at the port today. Maybe I should explain that to you. Don't forget that a lot of these importers, or let me say the clearing agents, had started the process in the old system. And because they started these processes, they haven't completed it. But then what has been put in place is that there's a flow chart. That is when it comes to the MPS terminal and the Jubilee terminal being managed by the GPHA. These processes have been put there to help them to be able to go through the, continue the process and clear their goods from the port. It's quite unfortunate. And I know that it's not all of them probably who got the information early. And for that matter, they got up this morning and then they realized, because you have people who come and say, I have done payment of duties and I need to go to the shipping line for them to release my goods for me. And so when they come, we have technical men that has been positioned. And just as Canada Mo did indicate to you, Darrell, look, in the long room, we have a team of Ghana Link and the Ghana Revenue Authority. Okay. When you go to GIF office here in Tema, we have put a team there as well. At the various points, there are teams that are there helping to ensure that if you have any issue, this issue will be resolved. And so when you mentioned that, you know, maybe information didn't go through appropriately or in time, perhaps maybe you should take the suggestion of the freight forwarders that maybe you give some time for the implementation, relax it a bit, don't do it in a rush, so that, when you roll it out, you know that, you have everything under control. How about that? Darrell, when it comes to the implementation, obviously I am not the implementing agency. That is the Ghana Revenue Authority having the powers from the government of Ghana. With your support, that is the position of government. I am a technical partner who is providing a solution. But then there are technical glitches, aren't they? Come again? But there are glitches now, and so as a technical advisor, what would you ask government to do? That you fix the glitches and go... You know, there are problems comes at every new stage when you have new systems that are happening. Trust me, the point is, what is the speed with which you're able to resolve these issues? And that is what I have explained to you, that we have put men on the ground who are resolving these issues one after the other. Any challenge that, these feed forwarders or clearinghouse agents are bringing up. So you are promising them speed. Is that it? Come again? You are promising them speed in dealing with the current challenges, today's challenges. I can assure you, Darrell, that as I speak to you, in the long room, we have our men there. At the GIF headquarters here in Tema, we have our men there. We also have, as we speak to you, we have a great support center. There's a phone line that people can call if they have issues. We have put a rapid response team further in case they even have to come to your office to help you. All right. Norman Aboagye-Wiafe, Public Relations Manager of Ghana Link Network Services, giving us an update or a brief on the challenges that was faced at the Tema Port with the implementation of Unipass. We'll keep monitoring and come back to you if we have any more concerns. Now, moving on, government says it is keen on improving security for digital payments to ensure many Ghanaians embrace a new way of transactions. This follows the launch of a new digital payment roadmap developed by the Ministry of Finance and United Nations-based firm Better Than Cash Alliance. Speaking on the project, Director of Financial Sector Division at the Ministry of Finance, Samson Akligo, assured consumer protection is key under the policy. Here's more in this report.
The policy document highlights initiatives that will deepen financial inclusion and accelerate economic growth through digital payment systems. Despite some successes chalked in the use of digital payments over the years, the country has experienced some fraudulent financial activities, especially mobile money fraud. Director of Financial Services at the Ministry of Finance, Samson Akligo, assured that consumers are well protected under the new policy.
It's actually a very strong element of the policy. If you go through that, talk about consumer protection, and that also talks about financial education and awareness. And really all these things are drawn from the lessons that we have learned even from the recent financial sector cleanup. So yes, the key, we are very much committed in educating people and strengthening consumer protection across the various regulators. And in fact, some of the regulators, as I've said, are already like far advanced in strengthening consumer protection, and also in making sure that the issues that you have raised are addressed. Yeah.
He has also expressed confidence that regulators and other stakeholders will work together to make the policy a success.
Quite frankly, these strategies were developed together with stakeholders. In fact, it is a government policy that was done together with private sector participants. This was done with the likes of the World Bank and Better Than Cash and SIGAP. All the regulators on the financial sector were included, and therefore it is more of maybe a Ghana document. So it's not really like government alone bringing a document. It's like the ownership is there, so we are all working together to be successful. So the launch of the document is actually even going to give an impetus for the stakeholders to even rally around it, so that we speed up some of the things that is already been done. You know.
The new initiative is expected to contribute to the ongoing financial inclusion agenda by the government.
Welcome back to Business Live. Business operators in the hospitality industry say the partial lifting of restrictions on their operations is not enough to quickly turn around their fortunes. President Akufo-Addo, as part of a roadmap to ease COVID-19 restrictions, is allowing restaurants to offer seated services but with social distancing protocols.
Restaurants providing seated services can operate under appropriate social distancing arrangements and hygiene protocols. Individual, non-contact sports can go ahead. Conferences, workshops, weddings, and political activities, except rallies, can now take place, but with limited numbers, not exceeding 100 persons present, with the appropriate social distancing and hygiene protocol.
We are trying to establish contact with Emmanuel Frimpong, who is Executive Secretary of Ghana Tourism Federation, to discuss this. When we get him, we will speak to him. Now, Ghana's plans to woo automobile giants to establish assembly plants in the country to create jobs for the teeming youth may be postponed, if not dashed completely. The COVID-19 pandemic is still slashing the bottom lines of these companies. So far, Volkswagen has postponed its official launch of Made in Ghana car. Fred Duho takes a look at the automobile industry amid COVID-19 and filed this report.
Andrew Lamptey. So the manufacturers would issue a statement very soon. Unfortunately, due to this COVID-19, there have been some delays because of the closure of our borders. So definitely we couldn't get all the support from the manufacturers. But the manufacturers would issue a statement once the borders are opening, and the clear modalities and the progress will be made available to all of us.
Is government offering any assistance in that regard?
Yes, government is offering very perfect assistance to ensure that everything is put in place, to ensure that assembly plants is put in place for the manufacturing or assembly of vehicles to happen live in Ghana. If you remember, at the TICAD conference in Japan, Toyota announced that they were supposed to have launched their first vehicle in August 2020. But for now, it's up in the air and we don't know how it's going to go. But for sure, like I said, once the lockdown conditions are eased, the manufacturers will come out with a statement.
The president asserted to the automobile law this year. The bill, among other things, is focused on giving tax holidays to companies for the next 5 years. Despite fierce resistance from Second-Hand Car Dealers Association and the minority in Parliament, the bill will come into force by September this year. The bill, among other things, has captured moves to streamline financing arrangements to allow Ghanaians to own brand new cars. Fred Duho reporting for Joy Business.
And tonight on our Facebook poll, we are asking if you would still sit and eat in a restaurant under strict social distancing protocols during this era of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that is the outcome of the poll. We've got 4.4 K votes, that's 4,400 votes, and 60% of you are still not comfortable with sitting and eating in a restaurant, even under strict social distancing protocols. 40% of you say yes, you may want to do so. And so that's the outcome of our poll. People are still a bit careful during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's it for Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time tomorrow.